What's up everybody, Soul here with another sort of Convallaria video, and today we're taking a look at our girl, Falin. We're going to pick her apart, see what's best for her, give a little rundown on what she can do. So first and foremost, let's take a look at her trait. Protective Power. After casting a class skill, she gains Well Trained. The effect of Well Trained is magic attack increases by 5% up to 3 stacks and can be triggered one time per round. After casting a class skill on allies, if the target doesn't have any protective power, right here, they gain protective power enhanced for 3 turns and 2 random level 2 buffs for 2 turns. Otherwise, they gain protective power basic for 3 turns and 1 random level 2 buff. Each target can gain protective power up to 1 time every 2 turns. A lot to take in right there. Protective power is basically basic is 25% physical shield, and then 25% of her magic attack, that is, and then enhanced is physical shield 35% of her magic attack, and that's what protective power is right there. So pretty unique trait, pretty great. So anytime she's casting those skills, healing and so on and so forth, she's giving that shielding to her team. Let's take a look here at what it does down the line. So moving down here to 2 stars, as we can see, the 2 stars now, that Well Trained effect stacks up to 4 times. Nothing else changes in the trait. That's really nice. So now we're getting up to 20% of her magic attack. At 3 stars, we have a decent breakpoint because now she's getting protective power 2, enhanced 2, and then basic 2. Sorry, I misread that. But anyways, with that enhanced 2, she's giving a physical shield equal to 60% of her magic attack. So it's a very substantial boost, and 15% physical damage reduction. Really, really big. And then on that basic 2, now it's 40%. So that's also a big increase. And then also that 15% physical damage. Nothing else here is changing. As you can see, each target can gain protective power up to 1 time every 2 turns. That changes at 4 stars. At 4 stars, she's given those same buffs, but now, as it reads right down here, each target can gain protective power up to 1 time every 2 turns. When they gain it, the character also gains protective power basic 2 for 3 turns. So you're basically getting both right there in the same turn. Really, really nice stuff. And then at 5 stars, that Well Trained 2 effect comes into play, where now she's gaining that magic attack up by 8% up to 4 times. So that's a pretty decent boost right there. And then of course, that protective power enhanced, now she's giving it for 3 turns. And then we're moving down here and we can see the effect changes slightly, where each target can gain that protective power up to 1 time per round. And then when they gain it, of course, they're still getting that basic 2. So this is a really big difference. The 3 turns is the same, but now it's each and every round she's giving that out. Absolutely massive, really big thing right there. So 5 stars is really powerful for her. Every round she's giving shields and such. That's really important. That damage reduction, just stacking up. I love it. I think it's absolutely fantastic, and for that reason, I'd highly suggest 5 stars on Falin. Let's take a look at her ranks and abilities. And so looking at her ranks and abilities, we can see her innate skill is Healing Spell. This is phenomenal. Of course, it's 1 energy cost, and it has a 2 range, and it heals for 100%, and then it dispels 1 debuff. So very, very nice single target, simple healing spell, highly effective. And then let's take a look at the ranks. Now at rank 1, you have Bandage over here on the right. It's a 3-turn cooldown. It is an instant healing for 30% HP. Very solid, good stuff right there. However, I'm going to suggest you get what's on the left, and that's Recovery Magic. Coming in at 2 energy costs, no cooldown. This is a healing spell. It heals all allies within 3 tiles of the character for 30% of the character's magical attack. It dispels 1 debuff from each target and grants them Stay Safe for 2 turns. Targets within 2 tiles receive an additional 20% healing. So, Stay Safe buff. After being attacked, the character recovers HP equal to 30% of the caster's magic attack. The effect is removed afterwards. So it's basically an auto heal when they take that damage and they get in that state. Very, very important. Really good stuff. This is a fantastic skill. We love our AoE heals. We love that we're given that Stay Safe on top of that. Just lots and lots of good things going on there. And of course, with the AoE heal, you're giving that AoE buff that she gives with that enchanted power, giving everybody those shielding and whatnot. So this ability is phenomenal. Now, rank 3, as you can see, I haven't decided, but I can still give my recommendations. And so let's take a look at them and read. Over here on the left, you got Energy Restoration. This is a passive. At the end of the turn, it recovers 1 energy, and if the energy is less than 1, it recovers another 1 energy. And then, of course, on the right, you have Field Extra. This is an aura. For all allies within 3 tiles of the character, the AoE damage is taken is reduced by 40%. And then when they have a shield, otherwise, AoE damage taken is reduced by 25%. So it really just depends on who you got in your back line, on your bench. You got Terry, you got Coco, you got these people. You're really not too worried and fussed about your energy, especially you got Senshi. And so you might want to go with Field Extra. However, if you're dealing with energy issues and you're struggling to keep Falin supplied, you might want to pick up that Energy Restoration. For me, I wanted to see which one I'd end up trying to gravitate towards as I was playtesting Falin, and neither one of these came to mind. And so for that reason, I think the aura is what I'd want to pick. I want to have that in my pocket. So when I use her in those niche battles and those boss battles where there's lots of AoE damage and so on and so forth, she's going to come through and really do a great job at raising my AoE damage resistance by 40%. Really, really nice. So I'm interested in it for that reason. Taking a look at rank 5, this is her reactions. You got Protection of Light here on the right, and when hit by an active single target attack, the damage taken is decreased by 30%. This effect can be activated 1 time per round. Now, we've seen this on other characters. Nothing wrong with this. Very solid ability. I'm going to suggest you get what's on the left over here. This has a 5-turn cooldown and is limited to 2 uses per battle. It is Selfless Rescue. This is a reaction when a non-summoned unit ally within 3 tiles of the character takes fatal damage from a single target attack. It triggers Resolve. Then sacrifices 60% of the caster's current HP, swaps positions with the target, and restores 90% of the target's HP. It can be triggered up to 2 times per battle. This is a phenomenal ability. I'd highly suggest you to pick this up. Absolutely fantastic. Moving along at rank 7, you have Inner Light. This is a support instant. It selects 1 ally target, then restores 1 energy to all allies within 3 tiles around the target, and then the character cannot be targeted. So that's really, really nice. Fantastic for multiple reasons. We love that it's an instant. And then, yeah, the character cannot be targeted. It's really, that part's unfortunate. You can't cast it on the caster, but that's not a huge deal. You're casting on your allies, giving a nice AoE energy up, 1 energy cost, and then a 3-turn cooldown. This is a decent option to have. I'm going to suggest you get what's on the left, and that's Teleportation Magic. This is coming in at 3 energy cost, 4-turn cooldown. As a support, selects any ally within 5 tiles of the character who has protective power, and teleports all the allies within 1 tile radius of the character in its vicinity. Before teleporting, it heals all allies being teleported by 70% of their magic attack, and dispels all control effects and grants them 2 random level 2 buffs for 2 turns. This is phenomenal, and this is great for so many reasons: positioning, healing, you name it. Absolutely great. Highly suggest this. This is thebomb.com. At rank 9, getting her basic attacks, we got Merciful Strike. This is a basic attack that deals 80% fit magical damage, and of course increases your healing spell of your next spell by 15%. The healing of your next spell, wow, by 15%. And then, yeah, we've seen this 100 times. It's decent. There's nothing wrong with it. I picked up what's on the right, which is Adaptive Strike. I wanted to see something different and have some fun with it, but it's not necessarily the best in slot. If you really want to be an absolute brutal healer and be primed on heals at all time, Merciful Strike is the better option. Adaptive Strike is great because of that single target attack. It deals 80% magical damage and inflicts magic defense down 2. If adjacent to the target, it deals physical damage by 80%. Sorry, I can't skip that. Knocks them back by 1 tile and has a 30% chance to inflict stun. I picked this up because I wanted to see something different. I wanted to test it, play around with it. But I don't think that you're really wanting to use basic attacks all too often with Falin. It's not the key. It's not what you're after. It's not ideal. It only does a job sometimes, and so I think Merciful Strike is the better option at rank 9. Rank 11, we got Falin's Blessing over here, and this is 2 energy cost, 3 turn cooldown. Converts 2 debuffs on all allies within 3 tiles of the character into random level 2 attribute buffs, and then grants them immunity to attribute debuffs for 2 turns. After casting, if the target has no debuffs, it restores HP equal to 40% of the caster's magic attack and grants damage 2 for 2 turns. So a lot to unpack there. Really good stuff, especially if you're really worried about getting those debuffs off and you're in a big battle. This is going to be clutch and come in really big. So if you're using Fallen in that way, or you're aiming to, and you're worried about those battles, there's a lot of debuffs in play, this is something you absolutely want, and you can't beat the fact that it's an instant. 3 turn cooldown makes sense, unfortunate, but this is a phenomenal ability. I got, and so would suggest you to get what's on the left, and that is Gentle Support. This is an aura for all allies within 3 tiles of the character. Attack is increased by 16% when they have a shield. Otherwise, it's increased by 8%. I want Fallen in around the team anyways. Giving a free attack boost on everything all the time is massive. And so when they have that shield up, which is ideal, getting a 16% boost to their attack is huge. So I really like this aura. I'd highly suggest you to pick it up for Falin. Taking a look at her rank 13, we can see right here, Healer of Body and Soul. This is another aura, a level 3 effect. This is the 3rd level of it. When any protective power is destroyed on an ally within 3 tiles of the character, it restores 40% HP and grants them damage reduction 2 for 2 turns. Allies within range with any protective power have their crit increased by 15%. And inflict no reaction skill on enemies before attacking for 2 turns. Before attacking is massive. This is a phenomenal rank 13 skill. If you're using Fallen and you like and you love her, highly suggest you go after this rank 13 skill, because it is bonkers in my opinion. Free heals anytime that shield, that protective power is destroyed, that shielding is destroyed, getting some damage reduction, getting some nice extra crit rate, and then reducing their ability to react to nil and null and void is phenomenal. Let's talk about the builds. Now for me, there's really only one way to play Fallen in the builder. Let's have a look at it. We're running that Adaptive Strike, Selfless Rescue, Gentle Support, Recovery Magic, and then Teleportation Magic. She is in a healing set. She is a healer. She is support. She does really one job and does it really well. And yeah, if you want to interchange one of these abilities or a couple of these abilities and pick up healing spell, or maybe you picked up a couple different spells for her, there's nothing wrong with that, but she's going to do same no matter what. And so you're worried about the heals. For weapons, I really enjoyed using the Cornucopia Staff. A lot of her innate abilities already are removing debuffs, so I didn't really feel the need to run Reorganized Cube. However, if you want that extra healing effect, there's nothing wrong with that. I valued having the extra energy and wanted her to spam, and so this is what I would recommend: is Cornucopia Staff, best in slot. Reorganized Cube is nothing wrong with that. It's a great extra weapon to have in slot and whatnot. And then of course Starry Sky Heritage is decent too. I don't think it's as good though, personally. Now for our trinket, I like the Old Scrolls of August. I really enjoyed having this on her, giving a little bit extra buff and an instant buff at that, giving some speed. Really good. Nothing wrong with this. You want this on your healer 9 times out of 10 anyways. Not always, but it's really useful. And so yeah, highly suggest this. Now, her best in slot easily is her trinket. Her signature trinket, that is. Increases magic attack and HP by 8%. And when casting a class skill on an ally, if it grants shield, the shield value is increased by 15%. And the target is in a dying state and increased by 20%. Converts 1 debuff into a level 2 buff for 2 turns. So That's what it looks like at 5 stars. Really, really hard to get up there, but even at 1 star, magic attack and HP by 4%, class skill, shield, 6% increase, and of course they're dying, it's by 8%. This is still nice. You're wanting to cast shields every round. That compounding effect, 6% each round, really, really big. Can't say enough good about this. This trinket is phenomenal, and in my opinion, is her best in slot. I actually made a couple pulls to try to get it and was very unlucky, and I have to conserve what I got for future characters. So, but if you can, go after this. Get it for Falin if you are running her and maining her. Another option you can use for her, of course, is Fancy Hat. There's nothing wrong with that. Phenomenal. A thing you got right here with that immunity to disrupt, and of course when you're healthy you get that bonus magic defense. Very solid trinket that works for Falin, giving her a little extra bulk as a backline unit when she's taking possibly that magic damage, you name it, and make sure she's not disrupted, which means she's going to keep casting. Now for for the Resonance, I absolutely think that the Wand and the Chalice are the best options for her. I love that extra energy. I want her spamming. I want shields up all the time. And so for me, that was the best option. However, another very solid option if you want to run on her, of course, is the double cup for that extra healing and healing received. There's nothing wrong with that. It is a very solid thing. It does a very decent job. And so I can highly recommend that. But in my opinion, you want the Wand and the cup as your Resonance on Falin. And then of course the Tarot Whisper. We're running Mercy the High Priestess. That makes the most sense. Extra heals for days. Absolutely love it. I think it's very, very good on her, and I could highly suggest it. If you're worried about extra energy or cooldowns, then of course you might want to pick up Guidance in the World. Skip a turn, stand by, get some bonus energy, get some bonus cooldown. Nothing wrong with that. If you're just looking for some bonus energy and maybe you want a little more versatility where you're getting some buffs and you're doing a little damage, pick up that Course of Fortune. Another very solid option. It does a really good job. And if you're in scenarios where you're maybe fighting tons of enemies, clearing waves, and you just want her to get some nice bulk and bonus attack, which is going to impact her healing, Temptation of the Devil is a fantastic option as well. Really, really good stuff. And of course we all know the other healing tarot, Elegance of the Empress. Whenever we cast that skill on an ally, it converts 1 debuff into a level 1 buff. We're already doing that with a lot of our skills, and we're doing it, with level 2 buffs, but maybe you want a little bit extra, maybe you're doing with a ton of debuffs. Who knows what the story is? This is a decent option. But of course the old fallback, and that I think is best in slot, is Mercy of the High Priestess. Now let's take a look at Falin in a battle. Here we go. Very fun fight. Thought it would be a good example for Falin. We're just going to put Kaya in a corner and forget about her and try to run through these guys as best as possible and see what Falin can do to give us some survivability. We're going to play a little recklessly and see what Falin does to help us out. So we're really only using Espianana and Nydia as damage, and we're trying to just survive all the hits and the damage that's coming in on us. Here comes Nydia coming over. One drawback for Falin is, as a support unit, she's slow. But as a healing unit, you don't necessarily mind that. Her coming in at the end of her turn, she can do some heals, do a job, be decent. Here we go, we're getting everything rolling. Got some nice shields going. Falin, low-key, should be a union character. I love that shielding, I love the buffing. Really, really good stuff there. Nydia's scary, she's already cleared most of the enemies, doing a ton of damage. Here comes more. Their shields holding up, doing their job. We're going to teleport and regroup and get everybody up there. Perfect. Thank you, Falin. Here comes SP Sophia. Make sure everybody gets their hits in. Fantastic. Enemies cleared out. We only really got the one left. Now we got Convallaria to deal with. We can take him out pretty quickly. Kai's just gonna chill. We're gonna ignore her. No disrespect. Coco with that hallucinogenic shroom. Another joint strike. Goodbye. Act again for Nydia. Get the flag out. Let's get some AoE damage rolling. Good stuff from SP Anana. What a beast. Here comes Nydia. Pulling targets in. Doing great damage. Gotta love it. Goodbye. Knock him back. We got the stun. Nice. Basic attack there from Falin. Doing the job. So we're primarily using Falin here to get some extra survivability and shields. We already got quite a bit of heals on the team as it is with SP Sophia and Coco. But as you can see, we regrouped and moved using Falin. That knockback strike and stun is pretty nice and pretty good overall. Falin, in my opinion, is a really strong unit and should not be slept on. She is going to be pretty useful down the line, I've got a feeling. Let's take this Convallaria and get it over with. More strikes, more strikes. Falin comes over, hits him, knocks him back. Beautiful stuff. For whatever reason, he wants to take a bite out of Coco. He likes what she's cooking, I guess. We're going to move Nydia over. Another joint strike. Getting ready to try to wrap this fight up. Decent stuff. Falin knocks him back. Her basic attack. Just what we want. Post a flag up behind. Good AoE damage. And Nydia comes in and hits him hard. So there it is. You saw it. Falin coming in with the clutch heals, AoE, shielding, and then of course that ability to move and buff allies. Really, really big deal. Really good stuff there with Falin. Can't say enough good about this new Drifter unit. Love my Drifters. She really feels like she should be a Union character. She does a job with them, fits in really, really well. And so I think I'll do a video kind of encompassing that and showcasing that. With that said, I hope this video helps you. And if you're deciding on whether or not to pull Falin, man, go for her. It's my understanding we're not going to get another crack at her. And this is a unit that comes in and does a fantastic job of healing and does an amazing job of buffing. And you got a lot of really cool stuff going on there. I mean, the auto resolve heal. Oh, can't say enough good about that. It's going to be a get out of jail card. You know, that you're going to have in your pocket. You're going to want her. You're going to want her for days. I kind of wish we had her for Tower Adversity, if I'm being frank. But next time, right? Anyways, I hope this video has been useful for you. Let me know down in the comments what you think. Do you enjoy Falin? Do you have any remorse pulling her? I know there's been a couple people that said that. And there's a couple people that have been really excited about her that absolutely love her. So let me know what you think down in the comments. Huge shout out and thank you to my Patreon members. You are the ones that allow me to pull for these characters, as well as to pull for the equipment and the resources to keep on trucking, to make the guides, to get the information out, and to have a positive effect on our community. So thank you so much for your support. It means the world to me, and I think honestly everyone else. With that said, make sure you check out the links for that down below, for that Patreon, as well as our Discord, where we talk all things sort of Convallaria and then some. We'd absolutely love to have you with us. Thanks so much again for watching. Good luck in your gameplay. I hope you're enjoying and loving Falin. And until next time, I will catch you later. Bye.